Prepare for the onslaught of a lifetime, Outriders. My name is William, the host of your Anthem, and today's video is dedicated to developer People Can Fly and publisher Square Enix new looter shooter, Outriders. No matter if you've been watching Outriders closely since last year, or if this is your first time hearing about this game, there is something for everyone to learn in this video. So let's not waste any time. Here are 10 things you need to know before hopping into today's demo. Number 1. Story. Outriders' story takes place on a planet that is dangerous as all hell, called Enoch. You and your team of colonizers were led to this world by an unknown signal. At some point, a mysterious and chaotic event, known as the Anomaly, strikes, killing off many of the colonizers. Those who survived were corrupted with a strange virus. And after a long comatose nap, you awaken as one of the game's 4 classes: Devastator, Pyromancer, Technomancer, or a Trickster. More on them in a bit. You would think that those who survived the anomaly would band together, but instead, most have split off into a multitude of different factions and tribes, each with their own objectives and goals on Enoch. This has triggered a near planet-wide civil war, though that is not your only concern. Enoch is crawling with all sorts of beasts, mutated creatures, and other chimera, 100% of which have you and your surviving teammates on the menu. Oh, and did I mention you have to wade through all of this to find the source of the unknown signal that brought you to Enoch in the first place? So yeah, sufficient to say you've just woken up to a whole heaping pile of shit. Number 2, gameplay. Cover is for cowards. Power on tap. Kill to heal. Think aggressive. These are the game's mantras of survival, and they are perfectly married into Outriders' chaotic gameplay. I dare say it's a more holy union than eggs and bacon. As an Outrider, you play as one of the game's 4 classes as you burn, blast, shock, and clobber your way through Enoch. You naturally have the option to play solo or with others for a max of 3 Outriders to a team. Now, you might be saying to yourself, wait, we can't have all 4 classes to a team? Nope. That's just basic math and the way it is. Outriders developer People Can Fly have stated that, we tested different amounts of players in co-op, but 3 players was the perfect max player sweet spot for balancing, optimization, and visibility. Especially with all the movement skills and visual effects from powers, when playing with 4 people, the battlefield got way too chaotic and hard to read. Though, unlike Anthem, you won't be able to switch between the 4 classes whenever you like. That said, you can create up to 6 characters per account, so you will definitely be able to play all 4 classes on different characters, much like Destiny. Number 3, classes. Each class has 8 different skills in total, and you will start unlocking them one at a time as you level up. However, you can only equip 3 skills at a time, so choose wisely. Each class also has 3 subclasses, which will give you even more build diversity. Additionally, each class has a unique healing mechanic that is suited to each playstyle. But what are the classes and how do they play? First up is the Devastator, the close-range tank and master of gravity. This class regains their health by defeating enemies in close proximity. I personally like to think of this class as the ultimate Swiss Army knife. You want to support or defend your allies? Awesome. Reflect bullets can create a barrier that captures incoming bullets that can shield your team from incoming fire, and then redirect them back at your foes. However, tanks work both ways. They can defend or obliterate. Impale your enemies with spears of earth, or unleash a devastating earthquake to deal a metric ton of damage and interrupt all enemies before you. The Pyromancer is the medium-range conjurer of hellfire. Pyromancers will recover health whenever enemies affected by your skills, aka being burned alive, are defeated. As a master of dot damage, if enemies aren't coded in an inferno that you could see from space, then you're not just doing something wrong, you're doing everything wrong. Heatwave summons a fiery wave that damages and inflicts the burning status effect on all enemies engulfed in its path. Fancy something with a little bit more punch? Volcanic rounds will fill your current weapon's magazine with burning, piercing rounds. The Technomancer is the long-range fighter of the group, filling the support role while also sending a gaggle of galvanizing gadgets on their foes. Technomancers will recover a portion of the damage they deal as health. Torbjorn has absolutely nothing on the Technomancer. Want a cryo turret that freezes enemies? They've got that. Want a blighted turret that can inflict toxic damage? Done and done. Though if you feel like playing the medic, Fixing Wave is the best healing skill of the 4 classes, as it can heal 33% health to all players within range and 50% health to your turrets, even if you are a mile away. Lastly, we have the close-range, space-time bamboozler, the Trickster. As a Trickster, each enemy defeated in close range heals you and extends the duration of your shield. The Trickster controls the battlefield with their manipulation of time and space. Temporal Slice paralyzes and slices all enemies in front of you, slowing and interrupting all targets the blade touches. However, if you find yourself out of luck on the battlefield, Borrowed Time will grant you a shield and mark your location for 28 seconds. Triggering the skill again will bend space-time and teleport you back to your original spot. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. There is a metric ton more to these classes, and we'll cover them in a future video to help you decide which one is the right one for you. Number 4. Difficulty. Outriders difficulty is where the going goes from good to great to how the hell is this even possible? The game features not 1, not 2, not 10, not 15. Oh, wait. It does feature a whopping 15 levels of difficulty, each with their own selected modifiers. These tiers are Story, Easy, Normal, Hard, Expert, Master, Legend, Immortal, Frantic, Impossible, Inferno, Torment, Nightmare, Insanity, and lastly, Madness. Think of it as a gating mechanic. If you die, your progress will reset. But if you continue onward and beat tier after tier of difficulty, a new world tier will unlock. If you do die, don't worry, you won't lose access to that world tier. And if you don't feel like you are being challenged enough in your current world tier, a meter will fill up that will progress towards the next world tier. However, if that world tier becomes too difficult, you can always go down a tier as needed. It would take us a whole other video to go over all the difficulty settings and their modifiers, but the general idea is based on the tier difficulty selected, 1 through 15, your enemy's level will increase, the dropped item level will increase, the loot rarity modifiers will increase, and there will be a few other things that will unlock as you get these new world tiers, such as accolades, which are Outriders achievements, weapons, and resources for crafting. To give you an idea of the lowest to the highest echelon, Tier 1 is Story tier. Enemies will be 2 levels lower than normal, dropped items will be 2 levels lower than normal, the loot rarity modifiers will be set at 80%, but there is no legendary drop rate bonus. Madness, on the other hand, the hardest tier, will have enemies spawn 12 levels higher than normal, but the legendary drop rate will be set to 800%, chance of higher rarities will be set to 250%, plus 12 levels to dropped items, and you will forever be able to wear gear that is 12 levels higher than what you are. And for unlocking this world tier, you get accolades, legendary gear, and a titanium resource pack. Obviously, Madness is the ultimate endgame, and while the difficulty is insane, it is nice to see that the loot will rise to the challenge. Speaking of loot, number 5, loot. Now what kind of looter shooter would Outriders be if it didn't have some awesome loot coming out of the things that you shot? Now personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Outriders aesthetic. If you all have been with me for a while, you know I am a sharp and clean sci-fi kind of guy. That said, Outriders does have some pretty nice looking goodies that I can absolutely get behind. In typical RPG fashion, there are 5 armor slots: headgear, upper armor, gloves, lower armor, and footgear. Outriders also features the typical weapon types: assault rifles, auto shotguns, bolt-action rifles, dual-wielding guns, light machine guns, pistols, pump-action shotguns, rifles, and submachine guns. No word at this time if there are or ever will be melee weapons, but for now, these'll do. Legendary gears and weapons are obviously the creme de la creme of Outriders, specifically due to their awesome set bonuses or their epic intrinsic abilities. Currently, there are only a few legendary armor sets and weapons, and for the sake of time, we won't go over them all. However, their footage has been playing in the background as we delve into our next area where most looter shooters have absolutely dropped the ball. Number 6, crafting. From every outlet that has had an early hands-on with the game, they have all been impressed with the crafting and modding systems specifically. When it comes to crafting, you can do one of 5 things, depending on the item, as not all items will allow you to do all 5 things. Improve rarity is the first option, allowing you to increase the item's base rarity and base stat, such as firepower for weapons and armor for gear. If your item is already epic/legendary quality though, if your item is already either an epic or legendary quality, you won't be able to improve the item's rarity. Raising attributes will do exactly what the title implies. Raise the base attributes of an item. However, you will need to find a shard with that specific attribute. Shards can be acquired by dismantling an item with the type of shard you want. So, let's say you want to increase your weapon's crit damage attribute. You will need a crit damage shard of greater rarity than what is already installed. Next up are mods, which come in 3 different tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Tier 3 mods can only be found from legendary items. Now, you can only change 1 mod per item. Say you have a rifle with 2 mods attached. Well, you will only be able to change one of them, not both. In order to find a mod, you will have to find the item with the mod already inside of it. Once you dismantle that weapon or gear piece with that mod, you will have that mod for life. That's right, you will never have to farm for that specific mod again. God bless. Swap variant will allow you to change the way your weapon fires. The 4 known types as of right now are breach, tactical, sharpshooter, and standard. Not all weapons will have all 4 variant types though. For example, a shotgun would have standard and breach, and an assault rifle might have standard, tactical, and sharpshooter. Lastly, level up will allow you to re-roll your attribute values and boost the item's primary parameter, firepower for weapons, armor for gear. However, you cannot level up the item beyond what your level cap is. So if you have a level 3 pistol and you are level 7, you can only level the pistol to level 7. There are also a variety of resources, but I get the feeling this video is getting long, so I will cover that in a crafting video in the near future. Number 7. Co-op. Outriders is classified as an always-online, co-op optional looter shooter. You can play alone or with a party of up to 3, similar to Destiny. However, Outriders is one of the first in the genre to completely be cross-platform friendly, meaning you can be on PC, one of your buddies on Xbox, and the other on PlayStation. Additionally, Outriders can be played on next-gen and past-gen consoles, Stadia, and launched on PC from either Steam or the Epic Games Store. Plus, if you purchase the game on a last-gen console and want to upgrade to next-gen later on, Outriders will give you a free upgrade as a part of their smart delivery promise. Bottom line, Outriders is easily one of the most consumer-friendly co-op games to have been released in recent memory. Number 8, Microtransactions. This is probably the shortest topic on this list, and that is so refreshing. Say it with me now. Outriders will not have any microtransactions. End of story. Number 9, post-launch content. Another thing that separates Outriders from other current looter shooters is that it is not based on a games-as-a-service model. And the team has stressed multiple times that the game will be a complete experience right out of the box. Now, that is not to say that the developers at People Can Fly won't support the game post-launch, or release major expansions if it performs well, but that is just simply not a priority for the team at this time. And last but not least, number 10, Demo. Outriders Demo is just that, a demo. Not a beta, not a technical test, a demo. We can expect this to be a polished, not necessarily bug-free, vertical slice of the gameplay pie, but there is a lot of info to go over before today's demo. First up, yes, it launches today, or a few hours after this video releases, on February 25th at 9 AM PST, or Pacific, or 11 AM CST, or Central. I'll leave a list of other times below, or you can check this handy-dandy graphic right here. It is 100% free and does not require you to have purchased or pre-ordered the game. You can get it on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. Surprisingly, you won't be able to preload the game. Now, surprisingly, you won't be able to preload the game, but it is expected to be a minimum 24GB for PC and 22GB minimum for consoles. Crossplay will be available in the demo, and you will need to manually enable it via your settings. There is no time limit on the demo, and it can be played well after launch. Something that I haven't seen done in a very, very, very long time. The demo includes the game's prologue and opening chapter. You will have access to all 4 of the classes and all 6 of your character slots. You will cap out at level 7, and you will only be able to progress far enough to get your 4th skill. You will also be able to earn 2 skill points to put in the skill tree of your choice. You will be able to transfer your progress from the demo to the main game, so long as you do it on the same platform account. Now, PC people, progress will not transfer between the demo on Steam and the full game on the Epic Store. Did I cover absolutely everything? Probably not. But my hope is that you close this video either knowing more than what you did coming in, or at bare minimum, got you stoked for the demo. Personally, whether you are a fan of the game or its aesthetic or not, I strongly encourage you all at least give the demo a chance. What do you have to lose? It's free. I think the game is destined to be a silent hit. But what are your thoughts? Also, 99.9% of this video was already pre-recorded and almost ready to be released when we got the Anthem news yesterday. I really do appreciate everyone's kind words, and I do have a few more videos left in me to make for Anthem to give it a proper send-off, but those won't come for a little while. I still need some time to process my thoughts, and time to sit back to script out some things. But what did you think of coverage of something aside from Anthem on this channel? Want me to do more Outriders content in the future? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, as I really do read through them all and reply if there's conversational potential. And if you are new to the channel or enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps me out and allows me to reach more, Outriders, just like you. I hope all you Outriders have an awesome day as always, and remember, the mantras of survival. Yeah, we'll work on that one.